What are you thinking about right now? When do you start thinking? I have been told that thinking starts when you capture a thought. What is thought? For example, if I were to simplify, not that it will be very successful, but it can capture the essence of it possibly. If you have seen a blank blue sky, just the blue expanse of the sky, treat it as your mind. And suddenly clouds are passing by. It can be white fluffy clouds or dark ominous clouds. Though for some, like in those places where it seldom rains, dark clouds do not necessarily mean ominous. They are more welcoming than the white fluffy clouds because that's a sign of rain. So it depends on who is looking, I suppose. Okay, just for the sake of encapsulating what is thought and what is thinking. We are not going to be able to do anything about when the clouds appear and when how the clouds go or what formation they take. But we can live in that and just enjoy the formations that the cloud shows. As a child, when you have looked at the clouds like I have, we also see that the clouds have various formations. You can see lot of characters from the comics, or you can see people, or you can see animals, or you can see birds, fish, a lot of things, and some which we cannot explain, and so we try and give them some kind of a shape, some kind of a feature, and we enjoy the clouds. So if we treat the clouds as thoughts, thoughts are interesting. Thoughts come and go. They just keep continuously coming and going by. Not one thought can be captured. Oh, yeah, we can. What if we took one particular thought as it was going along and we decided to start examining it further to its nanoparticles? That brings us to thinking. What does thinking do for us? Thinking sort of brings us to a halt. Temporary, maybe, for some, for a longer stretch of time, for some, for a smaller stretch of time. But thinking puts us in that place for a longer time. In that process of thinking, we miss many other thoughts, or rather, many other clouds that are passing by. We stop admiring what we did before. We stop seeing the beauty, we stop seeing the fear or the danger, we stop sensing any of those things in that moment when we are trapped in one particular cloud of thinking. Anxiety is one such thing. Where does anxiety come from? How does anxiety look like? How do you know you're anxious? Let's simplify that. Okay, for example, if you were carrying an empty basket on your head, this basket is so weightless, you do not even know you're carrying it on your head. It balances by itself. You don't even have to use your hands to hold it. Let's say this is how we get up in the morning, all of us. When we wake up in the morning, maybe that basket is empty, absolutely empty. It doesn't even seem to carry the burden of yesterday, and it doesn't know what is the burden of today. But just as soon as we become conscious, what is consciousness? As soon as we sense life inside us, as soon as we are aware of what's happening around us, we become conscious. So as soon as we wake up from sleep and when we enter the state of our consciousness, immediately the basket dramatically starts filling up. It can fill up with happy thoughts, it can fill up with sad thoughts, it can fill up with fearful thoughts, it can fill up with, oh my God, I have so many to do thoughts. It is going to fill up with, oh my God, I got up late thoughts. Lot of thoughts. And imagine as we go about eliminating one by one from that basket, but that basket continuously keeps filling up because we are meeting new people, We may be meeting our own family, we may be going to our office, or we may be going to some other place. We may not be meeting anybody physically, we may be meeting them online, in the social media, and our thought baskets keeps filling up. What are we doing to our thought? Why are we allowing this to fill up? Was it in our control? No, the thoughts continuously come. But what happens when this basket fills up? What happens is our connect between the intellect and between the heart widens. And when we are not in connection with our intellect and with our heart, what happens is many decisions that we take somehow do not seem to work as well as they would have if our intellect and our heart were in connection. So is it that we all take the best decisions the first thing in the morning because that is when our intellect and our heart are the closest to each other? I don't know. What is your experience? For me, I have noticed that as I go through the day, lot of things build up, momentum builds up, the momentum keeps me going. I go from one job to another, or one place to another, or one person to another person as a coach, and I am continuously working with them as a person without focusing much on me. But lot of things are building up in my basket which I have not examined yet. So finally what happens? I complete my dinner, and when it is time for bed, the basket comes down. Sometimes I examine the basket, sometimes I don't. I just put it aside. It depends on whether my mind is going to allow me. It is not about whether I have a willingness to examine. Sometimes have you found yourself going to bed and not being able to sleep? Have you noticed that? That you are continuously revisiting some incidents on that particular day, some particular dialogue you had with somebody. It may have been a happy one, it may have been a nasty one, where someone was nasty to you or you were nasty to somebody and you were feeling guilty or you were feeling hurt or something. All these revisitings could also happen at that time. And then what happens? Your body may take over, your fatigue may take over, and you may go to sleep. Or, like some people say, I suffer from insomnia. What is insomnia? Sleeplessness. Pop a pill and go to bed. Or, no, let's finish sorting these thoughts. Let's go through each one. Let's finish. Let's find the thing. How are we going to do that? What if we recognized everything was just a thought, and if it was coming, it would go, and it was in our hands to just say, I can let go? Is it going to be that simple? Is it going to be complicated? Well, I don't know. It all depends on how you see your life as, and how thought plays havoc or creates in your life. Come, let's talk about it. We'll work as your coach. I am Kamini from Kamini and You, your transformative life coach. Thank you for listening to me.